I'm actually kind of happy today because I went to my college and guess what? They get LTE now. And that's actually a good thing because T-Mobile, they're keeping up with technology. I know at least one place in my city that isn't, like, let's just say Westchester, is getting it too. But speaking of technology and that stuff, I'm going to talk about the Wii U again. Now, as we all know, Bayonetta 2 just came out in Japan, and it's gotten some good reviews from the press. However, even if it's a good game, apparently online, people are saying it's going to save the Wii U. Well, here's the thing. It's not. Because it sold terribly in its first week. Even compared to the 360 version. Now, everybody knows that in Japan, the 360 is, long story short, kind of a flop. I mean, it sold poorly. I mean, the Wii U has already outsold the 360 life to date in Japan. And yet, here's the thing. The Wii U version of Bayonetta 2 has sold so well that it's actually sold half as much as the first one sold on a system that's doing poorly in Japan and has a history of doing poorly in Japan. This should tell you something about the Wii U's owner base and Bayonetta 2. The reason the Wii U has no games isn't just the fact that the system's weak. And it isn't just the fact that the Wii U has a gimmicky controller driving people away. And it isn't just the fact that Nintendo isn't really the best company with third parties. It's because nobody is buying games for it. I mean, remember the original Wii, where Call of Duty would only sell 1 million on a system which had the biggest install base, and yet the 360 and the PS3 would each sell far more than the Wii version, despite having a much smaller install base. Or how Halo 3, when the 360 was a newer system, how half of the 360 owners owned Halo 3. Of course, that was a first party game, but still. The audience for games like Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U simply isn't there. Because here's the thing. The Wii U, Nintendo, they've repositioned themselves into a corner. They're trying to market themselves to casuals. But what casuals? Because casuals have already moved on to smartphone and Facebook games. And now tablets. And of course you've got the Xbox One and PS4, which have plenty of games for these kind of people, such as Madden and FIFA and Minecraft, which the Wii U's not getting. Yeah, I know, Microsoft is buying Mojang, but let's go back a few weeks, back when nobody even knew Notch was going to sell Mojang. And you'll see that there was no Wii U version in development, but you know what there was? A PS4, an Xbox One, and even a Vita version. And keep in mind, the Vita has been selling poorly too. So keep in mind, nobody is buying these Wii U games meant for hardcores. And yet there are even fewer of these hardcore games than there were on the Wii. Because long story short, Nintendo is not what they used to be. They're just trying to target casuals and people trapped in the past. What games sell the most on the Wii U? Games like Lego City Undercover. That was actually the top-selling third-party game, was a Lego game. Or GameStop's website. You go on there and you'll see one of the top-selling Wii U games are Skylanders figures. Actually, most of the top-selling Wii U games are Skylander figures. Of all the things, Skylander figures. Well, actually, no, they weren't even Skylander figures. They were the clone of Skylanders. Disney Infinity, Marvel, Superheroes 2.0, I think. I forget what that's called or whatever. But that was selling a lot on the Wii U. Because here's the thing. Hardcore gamers aren't buying the Wii U. Other than a small minority trapped in the 90s. Most hardcore gamers are skipping the Wii U. The ones who care a lot about having the biggest game skip the Wii U because it lacks them. The ones who care about graphics skip the Wii U because it's nowhere near the level of a PC. And let's not forget the fact that, I mean, even Disney Infinity is running worse on the Wii U than it is last gen systems. Last gen systems. And of course, there are over 159 games not on the Wii U that are on last gen, that have come out since the Wii U came out. This should tell you something about Nintendo, people. The Wii U is a dead system. Bayonetta 2 is a sales flop. As just more proof that nobody wants hardcore games on the Wii U. And you know why I'm explaining this stuff again? Because I'm proving a point here. The Wii U is a dead system. And you know the last thing I might as well mention about the Wii U being a dead system? Let me tell you something. Does anybody remember Operation Rainfall? Remember how well that sold? Only 1 million. And Nintendo only put it in like one store. Because here's the thing, Nintendo doesn't really care about hardcore gamers. They just don't. And sure, they might try to have a lot of old franchises that they keep mentioning. They might be trying to pander nostalgia. I mean, you'll see this with the Mario series, you see this with Zelda, you see this with modern day Pokemon. Because Nintendo, they're not trying to pander to the hardcore. They're just trying to pander to people stuck in the past. They are that band that goes around playing casinos and maybe barely putting out new material that is just mediocre, that nobody buys. Only because the only people who listen to them, go to those concerts, are people stuck in the past. Because they're nowhere as good as they once were. That's all I have to say about Nintendo. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. And, yeah. Like I said again, Nintendo's not getting the hardcore games. Deal with it.